The stock market absolutely ignited today. And so let's break down exactly what happened this morning and talk about the momentum leading into tech earnings this week. Okay, so this morning we did get information. President Trump was talking about Air Force One on his way to overseas to have a meeting with President Xi, China's President Xi, on Thursday. But it sounds like they were alluding to trade agreements with China, amongst other things. We're talking about TikTok deal could be signed soon as well. And this is all leading up into the tech earnings this week. A lot of those heavy hitters hit. Some of the companies that are in our portfolio that we're following. So Meta is going to report this week. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. So all of the heavy hitters that are outside of NVIDIA that have their toes dipped in the AI pool, right? And so we're going to see how those companies are continuing to spend. What is this AI infrastructure build out looking like? If we see a little bit of pullback from capital expenditure on building out AI infrastructure, that could spell danger, especially for a company like NVIDIA. So hopefully, what we want to hear, at least what I'm looking for, is that companies are continuing to gradually spend, and maybe not substantially more that they are planning to spend this year. But this is key, is that they're actually seeing return in their investments, and profits and revenues are rising while they're continuing to build and continue to spend more on their AI initiatives. So I don't know how patient investors are going to be if companies are continuing to spend on their build out on AI infrastructure, buying all these chips, building all these data centers and whatnot, and we're not seeing any type of return of our money. And I know it's really early, but with stocks as high as they are, for them to continue to push higher, we're going to see some return on our investment, or else I think we might see maybe like a small correction. Nothing substantial, because it seems like every time we do get a little bit of a pullback, there's maybe new money coming in, or there's just money sitting on the sidelines that's just waiting to be deployed. And so those dips get bought for some investors who may be getting in new and are willing to give these some of the best companies in the world a little bit of extra time, a little bit of patience to build out, as long as we're seeing incremental steps to success, or they can show us or give us any type of data to say the money that we're spending, it will return X, Y, and Z in the coming future. But let's look at it in a more broad spectrum. So let's check the scoreboards. The scoreboards, if you're first time watching, are the three major indexes. So we track the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. We like to look at these every single day just to see how the market is moving as a whole. And great thing today is all three major indexes hit all-time highs. So S&P 500 was up over 1%. NASDAQ closed almost above, or 2% above Friday's close. And the Dow closed just under 1% for the day, positive. So that is awesome to see. Before we go over some of the companies in our options portfolio, let's look at the All-In Collective. So All-In Collective is a group of stocks that we're invested in long-term that has at least $10,000 or more invested in the company. And so those stocks for us are Meta, NVIDIA, Apple, Vertiv Holdings, Amazon, Uber, and Robinhood. Now, Robinhood was down in a little bit lower tier for us, but that 4% move that Robinhood had today, it moved it back up into the big boy tier. So it's good to see Robinhood jumping. It looks like crypto is jumping as well. I believe someone upgraded Robinhood stock today. Compass Point, I guess. So there was an upgrade on Robinhood stock today. Average price target analysts say is 138. So we're kind of blowing past that. So we're getting a little frothy up here. So we'll see what happens with earnings coming up in about 9 days. So let's go from the top up. Next, Uber. We love Uber. I'm traveling. I'm actually here in Vegas. Landed yesterday. So market is doing very well is awesome because this trip is, in a sense, kind of paid for, especially with some of the options we jumped in last week, and they're up actually 50%. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But Uber is destined to be a $100 stock. I think sometimes after earnings, there's a little bit of it could be like a great earnings report, and then the stock goes lower because maybe expectations leading up were a little bit too high. But I like that Uber's not taking off too much. It's kind of sitting in this range. We're kind of waiting patiently for the next catalyst. I know Tesla stock is actually doing pretty well, and when that stock does well, it seems like Uber tends to kind of taper off a little bit. But interesting note on Tesla today, I can't remember her title, but there was a woman from Tesla's, the company, and she's kind of rallying up votes for Elon's potential pay package. If he would get a ton of shares, I think it would value about $1 trillion if he reached certain thresholds. And I think one of those thresholds is for a Tesla stock to have a market cap of $8 trillion. And that's absolutely insane because when we look at the market cap of NVIDIA, it's 4.6 trillion. So essentially he wants to double NVIDIA. So that's a lofty goal to have. We're not long-term traders or owners of Tesla stock. God bless those of you who are. I'm just not a believer in the company. I think there's going to be a lot of other folks that are going to be able to get into autonomous vehicles and robots and everything else that Elon seems to want to do with Tesla. So, but he is a brilliant man. So, betting against him was kind of a fool's errand. And I'm not shorting the stock. I'm not betting against him. I'm just not choosing to ride that wave in the company individually. Now I have it in the Qs. I have it in the VOO, and I enjoy to have my exposure to Tesla that way. Moving on to Amazon. It's good to see Amazon is doing well. It dropped to about 211 range the past month, and we started buying shares once it dropped to about 225. So it's good to see we're actually above where we were starting to add on to it. So it was a good move. There are also, I think the number was 30,000. They're talking about cutting 30,000 corporate employees to save on costs and be maybe a little bit more efficient. That loss of jobs, when taking away those jobs, will provide a lot of revenue and profit for them. I think there was an article that I wanted to find that they were talking about CNBC, but I wasn't able to find it to really get the number. So I'll look for that for you guys. Vertiv Holdings, I love this company. One of the members in the All-In Society actually suggested I invested in this company. So this company is doing well. Hit a new all-time high today at 194. They reported earnings. They had a blowout earnings report. The stock sold off after that. I should have got aggressive and went in all and added a bunch of shares. I didn't. I just kind of held where we were, and I'm just kind of nibbling off the top of it. But we're up well over 100% for these shares. We're probably approaching close to 150% that we're up on these shares. So shout out to Ant. Thank you again. Apple, it did hit an all-time high today. I think it hit that 4 trillion market cap at one point today. I didn't close at above 269, but we did hit 269.08. So congratulations to Apple. Those of you who have been rocking with me for a while, Apple was my very first options play, and I think the strike call was about a $170 strike, and that thing took off. We're almost $100 higher. Now we're out of that position. We've been in and out of Apple and eating off of that past year and a half or so. So we're contrarian investors. We invest in, allergies acting up. We invest in great companies at distressed prices. And so everyone was dogging Apple, saying they weren't innovating anything, providing anything new as far as the iPhone. They're just regurgitating the same phones with minor improvements. And they were behind in AI, but it looks like Apple is doing absolutely just fine if you ask me. So congratulations to those of you who are contrarian. Don't listen to those clowns that are on television telling you to sell your Apple. Even Warren Buffett was been just selling shares of Apple hand over fist. It's still his largest position, but Not the best move, Uncle Warren. But we appreciate you selling those shares so we can get some. NVIDIA, what do I need to say? NVIDIA is a great company. It hit, no, it did not hit all-time high today, but I know it's going to be moving towards there. It'll be a $200 plus stock probably here within the next 6 months or so, barring anything crazy happens. So we're in it. It's one of our largest holdings, and we've been eating off of NVIDIA on long-term investing and options. And Meta. Meta is our largest long-term play. We believe in Mark Zuckerberg and this super intelligence team they're putting together. I am a little nervous that investors won't continue to be patient with them as they kind of, before Meta really started looking at cost and when they were building like crazy with the metaverse, where they were losing money hand over fist investing in it, and then they got smart. Zuckerberg came out after Brad Gerstner sent him, I probably butchered his last name, sent him a memo and said, please kind of change your operations, the way you're thinking things. And since that, the stock has absolutely took off. I still think there's a lot of opportunity for this stock to run. I think this is going to be an $850, $900 stock in the near future, say 6 to 12 months. And we are heavily invested in this company, and we believe in Mark Zuckerberg, and Zuckerberg we trust. Okay, so let's talk about options. Before we get into that, make sure you join the Patreon. We shared today, if you follow us on any of our socials. If you're not, make sure you check the description. You see the socials there. Follow us. Definitely check us out on YouTube. If you're watching this video, wherever you found it, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you share if you like the information that we provided in this video. And always, please make sure you do your own research. This is for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes. This is my experience and our strategies that we use to get money out of the market and not have to rely on someone else to give us a paycheck in order to feed ourselves and feed our family, take care of our families. So, join the Patreon. You can join for free. For free, you get information like this. You get the videos from YouTube, a couple of other things that I throw in there for free. But if you really want to get busy with us, you want to dive into our strategies, it's only $10 per month to join the Patreon. And I guarantee you're going to get $10 worth of game. Just this, I posted today. NVIDIA contract, we jumped in, I believe, October 22nd last week. That is up 50%. So it's about $800 that in profit that is up. We jumped into Uber play, that one was up. We jumped into Amazon play, that one's up. And then we showed we are in a Palo Alto play, and that option is up over 130%. And we have it doesn't expire until 2027. So if you guys want to get into us, or get in with us, learn our trades and invest with us, come make some money with us, make sure you jump in. But awesome to see. Palo Alto is not one of the major players in our long-term investing, but we do have a large position in the options portfolio. DraftKings is kicking our butt, but this is kind of like my Apple. Now I don't have the strongest conviction at all with this DraftKings play like I did the Apple play. But there's a lot of negativity around the sports betting industry right now. I believe a lot of this that's happening right now is going to provide some benefits for the long term of the sports books, not necessarily be negatives for the industry. So if anything, the sport leagues need to properly educate their players, all the staff, anybody that's involved in the business, what are the do's and don'ts going forward as far as sports betting. And it just seems like a lot of these guys are going to have to kind of live in a bubble. You have to be careful what you say to friends and family, because that can be used for somebody else to profit based on the information that is provided. So I think it's a little bit unfair for the athletes, but all of this money that's trickling in from sports, that means that usually provides more viewership for them. So if they want more eyes in the game, people are going to bet on these games, and that's going to make them view these games even more. So I don't think that sports betting and these partnerships with the leagues are going to go. It's going to go anywhere. It's going to change drastically at all. There's going to be some different parameters and safeguards in place to make sure some of these things that are happening now that we're seeing do not continue to happen. Okay. So I am bullish. DraftKings long term. I do have an option in here. We're getting killed in the options, by the way. So if you followed me, I apologize, but we have a long term thought process in this. DraftKings is reporting in 10 days, so we're gonna hear from the horse's mouth, from the CEOs that are operating these business. What are things looking like? What is it going to be in the future? What are the projections for the revenues? Is there anything that's going to change in the business that our thesis might change? We might have to either exit our trade, or if they give us conviction and confidence and assurance things are going to go well, and it's that's not going to really deter the business, then maybe we add more to our positions and really get busy. But Meta, Uber, Amazon, and NVIDIA, we all have options plays in. Those NVIDIA options are doing very well. Those shorter ones we have. We also have long-term options with strike price at 200 plus. We have until way into 2026 and into 2027. So if you want to learn our strategies and want to trade with us, get a bag with us, make sure you tune in to the Patreon, and we'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like this one, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Peace.